upset at the Telltale Heart.
Are we streaming?
Are we going live?
Do you want to go live?
Yeah, we might as well.
Sure.
All right.
Can't wait to watch.
Ian might watch. No, he's camping. Yeah, you're gonna have to choose the time.
If Ian's watching, then we know something is going horribly wrong.
Ian's like,
Either that
in
girl
the chat,
was,
he's like, dude, I'm so glad that you guys are finally playing this game.
either that girl was not interested in him, and poor Ian, or the girl is interested and he has no idea what to do with it.
I thought he's camping.
Well, it's a church camp out.
The answer is
Does
that
that even mean?
easily true.
Are we playing on hardcore? We might as well.
Sure, I don't know how to play the game, and it's not me playing it, so.
We can have Alex play it on hardcore.
They were like, hey, your audio's kind of echoey,
do
except for when you all
PC.
stand up and you slam your knees into the desk and just, ah! Oh my gosh. Do you ever have the problem, Alex, when you go to and from work and stuff? When you ride your motorcycle, do you get a ton of dead bugs on your shins?
On longer trips. I did not mean to do that.
It's probably the time of day we're at.
Yeah, because for me, especially...
the bugs are out at like 12.
There we go.
Yeah. They're like, this leg going 80 miles an hour, don't need money tape.
Well, it's more like they're just floating.
Alright,
in
and
clouds
now we're
you're just
live.
like,
We'll just have to cut a minute off that recording.
Hey guys, so we're playing Soul Hackers 2, and by we I mean Alex.
However, we are here to heckle him. Oh, Persona 5 Alternates.
DLC contributing.
Don't mind if I do.
Background music, can you please play No More What Ifs the entire time? It's my favorite
What
song
about
of
Rivers
Persona.
in
And
the
occasionally Rivers in the Desert. And I would also like
Takeovers?
We'll go hard.
Yeah, that one's good. What's the one from the shop? The airsoft shop.
Or the...
Oh,
you never
Layer
see
Cake.
it coming.
one's
That
good
was
too.
Layer Cake is the bum 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 bum.
Yeah, Layer Cake's good. I really like
The injustices in the story are not
the Velvet Room
designed
theme.
to malign an existing faith. Interesting.
Oh, that's nice of them. It's the middle of the 21st century. Technological prowess is plateaued, and lives and societies of humanity are now defined by a slow stagnation.
Are they talking about Japan or everybody?
It's us.
the world.
From the
But it
abstract,
takes place in Japan.
data-rich sea of Earth's information, new life had evolved.
Digimon!
Yes!
Techno parasites. Oh, come on, it's gotta be
Oh, no, it's
Techno
Atlas. Never mind.
Atlas has evolved.
Atlas evolved. He
What a
found a
guy.
way out of the...
The first game was snowboarding
He's
kids.
like, I no longer have to hold the sky.
I already got the spit take.
Fantastic, dude.
Oh, no. The only life form they ever created was, like, triangles.
I mean, they are the strongest common geometric shape.
They're the best shape for wheels if you don't want to move them. Oh my gosh. Or give someone
They're
a
a great shape for
I mean, now we
Uh,
really gotta get...
stresses because you don't want them.
Clearing fertilize an egg.
That's not from that's cracks
We're
in the glass.
seeing this blonde human person.
Haru from Persona, but
Blonde
and
So, from what I
imagine if that's a
understand...
dude.
Because we all play
Ringo.
Persona, so we're going to be comparing this to Persona. From what I understand, it's basically cyberpunk
Ringo.
or almost dystopian, like with clothes and everything.
Ion is
So
a
we might get
conscious
some more... I
consensus,
don't know how they're going
born from the sea of information, without beginning or end. Though aeons pass,
Should we change the audio to
Ion
like
is eternal.
I was more saying we should probably take
Ion denies all forms of boundaries that define the individual self.
Hey, let us know in the chat if that was awful.
Contradiction identified.
Don't worry, we'll know. When we go to edit it.
Yeah.
As Ringo,
I hate watching it back when I have to edit. I'm like, I can
Now you-
just
I am
kind of
Fauna.
guess where we did this bit, and I'll just cut for that.
Now you know my pain. Now you know.
Words may be
Yeah.
a contextually vital tool
But it's
for
also for we can
objective.
be the snarky editor.
Yeah.
The objective of Ion is
That's the problem. Is I
evolution.
actually would like to do the editing as a consequence of I enjoy the snarky
You
editing
didn't
stuff.
do it.
Progression.
The problem is,
No one's stopping.
I'm
just
married,
download the
guys.
video, make the thing.
So?
no, it means I have the least amount of free
Explanation
time.
regarding the necessity of a corporeal
We all work
form.
full time, so no one gets to beat the others on that.
Corporations have identified an imminent sequence of events. Ion
Imminent
has
sequence,
determined
butt
that
shot,
these
crashes.
events represent a catastrophic
That's the only thing I'm wondering is if there's going to be a lot more fan service than Persona. Even though I think Persona had quite a bit of it.
Had a very low.
Out of
what?
Five had pretty
When it came to their personas and everything,
Oh yeah. Well, I try not to look at it.
Okay, so I disagree on calling that fan service in there, and there's a legitimate reason for it. So I'm assuming you're talking most about karma. For ons?
yeah, mostly.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
based
Angel.
off
all of
Yeah, Angel makes sense. Yeah, my favorite,
Lima,
the best
all of
one-
those make sense.
the best one is still Dick Cherry. That's the
Oh,
funniest
yeah.
one. It's a cherry
Mara.
with a giant penis.
M-A-R-A.
It's hilarious. It's a demon of lust in which it's based off of. But again, some of that I'll argue that it's absolutely fan service as well as being stylized as a consequence. Angel is the most obvious one. I'm like, someone had a weird kink and they
Yeah.
finally got it through. Just like the biker shorts. Someone is very happy today.
So evidently that's because I was reading an article today. That's a fashion trend in Europe right now, or at least France, where they like dress up real nice and then you just put bicycle shorts on. At least girls will.
It's the
So that is
ugliest
it.
possible way to go.
Oh,
Almost broken
this is how you know they're
Those
going for the
glasses.
mature
I was
rating.
gonna say, does she have a chastity belt on there that points at the bottom? Like,
Guys,
I'm no doctor, but he might be dead.
and she's looking, she's like,
I'm not a
someone
biologist.
should have called it
That
in.
guy's dead. Oh, it's a different guy. Did he die?
No, same guy, but just not finished.
But he's
Also,
not in water.
evidently this game's a bit shorter than Persona because it only has 60 hours of gameplay. At least when you
Instead of 135, like Persona 5 Royal?
I
right?
did 170 easy.
Oh, we're in Full August territory.
Finally.
Which, I mean, if that's the route they want to take it, I'm not disappointed.
If
Because it was a good storyline.
I actually,
Brotherhood, Full Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood.
if somebody gave us a,
Yeah.
hmm,
I can cut that for your review of Brotherhood.
I want to think,
Alex reviews Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay,
He says
but-
it's good.
but what style of game? If you were to get some sort of video game that actually followed the storyline of Brotherhood reliably, how would you want that game designed?
A lot
Sur-
like The Witcher.
Would you
third
want
person.
survival, third-person open world? Would you want it?
Good morning, Rachel.
I'd even be okay with third-person closed world.
Witcher's technically
Morning,
like
Vic.
third person open world.
So,
I think that would be
you
a
got
really
born
good
into
way to
this
do it.
mess too, huh? How are you
But
feeling?
you have to have it in
Like the world
blocks
was just
because they
created 5
age up
minutes ago.
visibly.
Yep.
So you do
It hasn't been
Part-
that
I think
long.
you
Four parts,
open-
probably?
If
probably
this world was
after
created
they're
at
already
the precise
alchemists, like they
moment
do
we
in
attained
one of the
sentience,
shows.
how would
Where
That's-
you open in
Well,
Lyria or whatever.
Yeah,
And
chasing
you
the
fight
false
the,
prophet.
fight the false prophet, flashback all the way to the
Brotherhood.
beginning, and you do the
Brotherhood.
training montage.
You are
No.
constant.
Yes, you. That way you
Yeah,
can
maybe.
incorporate combat.
Go all the way into that,
Manifestations of
and then you have to, once you take the test, hard cut, probably Shao Tucker,
I mean, I'm not doubting
Yeah,
Ion's grasp
rough.
of cybernetics.
and then after that,
He seems state of the art.
you have to split it multiple times, because even Ed, who doesn't grow because he doesn't drink milk,
taking physical form.
grows.
Also, his body.
Visibly.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen a 15-year-old anime that's one of the most popular of all time. But
What?
His
You
body's
haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh
super
yet?
held back because he's like missing an arm and a leg. So, I mean, there's
he's
that.
held back because
And he's also wearing giant metal.
He's also 15.
No.
Yeah.
The entire point of it is that his body is also deriving some of the nutrients to feed
Then
Al's.
they're resorting to drastic
He's
measures.
clearly not eating
I take
enough.
it we're dealing with a crisis.
And so,
Because Al is emaciated. Emaciated.
Emaciated.
How do you want to say?
emaciated. There's no extra N in there.
Very soon,
Yeah,
the
that's
deaths of those 2
So
But,
that's our mission then.
some
Directness averting the apocalypse.
precisely.
phenomenal.
Ion's reason for it to that end.
I love the Japanese because they'll take random Latin usually and be like, sure, this is somebody's name.
Who are these guys?
One is Ichiro Honda.
So,
Ichiro, he was a baseball player for the Seattle Mariners. Then he switched to the New York Yankees. He's also Japanese. He holds the
yeah.
record for most hits in a single season, or at least did. Not sure if he still does. Or no, I think it was most hits in his career, not season.
well, Alex guessed this episode of Bar Trivia with Dry Nine.
Sorry.
You literally opened up like an encyclopedia. You're like, hello!
To be fair, he played for Seattle, and I'm from Washington.
Fair point. But that also means you hate Seattle.
Yes. Yes, I do.
I like the Seahawks well enough.
You had to drive through there. You understand my hatred for it.
Whenever Amazon's like, what's your favorite football team? I'm like, the Seahawks.
I used to
Not
know the
because I'm
Ravens until I
particularly-
watched an episode.
An episode of
a game
the
with
best
the Ravens.
show on internet football.
It's just the most obvious way to showcase I was never a sports kid.
Well, because neither Idaho nor Montana have a professional sports team, and Oregon doesn't have football. So the Seahawks are the closest NFL team here. Because Utah doesn't either. Neither does Wyoming.
Oregon's got
we
they've got a good college team, and the Ducks. Well, depends on what decade you're talking. Let's be honest.
Yeesh.
But most
Also, we
college
just lost
Ducks.
everybody. Whoever might have wanted to watch us, they're like they know
Understood.
1% about sports.
Designating Ichiro
Sports.
Honda as target
Spawns.
mission
Yeah, we're good at
status
the sports
initialized.
podcast.
No.
Now, Alex clearly knows more because
Alex actually played sports.
my understanding of baseball literally was just about the guy named Ichiro.
I know
Because-
about Babe Ruth.
Because one
I've
show-
watched The Sandlot and The Sandlot too.
Okay, actually, my knowledge mostly
I
comes
have
from Lou Gehrig because
A
of
large
ALS.
amount.
There are actually
That's
a
fair.
lot of good. There are a lot of good baseball movies. Rookie was a really good
League of
one.
Their Own.
Well,
I don't think I've
this will
actually
be
seen that
Ion's
one.
first
What's the-
contact with
The Man from
you.
Snowy River.
Let's make sure
That's not
he gets
baseball,
paid.
but that is an amazing movie.
Bridge on the River Kwai, the best baseball movie anyone's ever seen.
But as far as sports movie goes, my tops would have to be Rookie because it was a family favorite. Sandlot's amazing.
I like Sandlot.
Radio and
Forgot Radio was a
football movie. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely love that one. And then
Rudy.
the Titans.
Rudy's
Remember the Titans?
Ooh, Rudy's
Isn't that football?
Yeah.
Oh,
I talked
Yeah,
about both.
He swapped halfway through.
okay.
Just it was like best baseball movies, and it's like, well, actually, got to do just sports
Well,
movies.
the way you phrase it though was like
Sports.
these are the best baseball-centric
Miracle on
movies.
Ice. That's a good hockey.
Oh, that was a
movie.
good one.
That's a good hockey movie, and it's like a true story. So that's
Going
even
back to
Is it
baseball,
weird that sports movies are not bad?
better. No, it's not.
Because let's face it, baseball is one of
It's
the
like
most
great.
boring sports in the world to watch.
But they make like great movies.
but that's because
It's fun to
when
play.
you look at the people who
That's-
became
that's
professional
okay.
players,
Ringo here.
a lot of them came from poor families, so it really gives you the underdog vibe.
True. Like no,
mean-
I'm sure they would be fun to watch in person.
Ringo's here, dude.
If we're on the fact that I live like
Currently
2
in
states
which
away
position
from any
coordinates by
professional
type?
baseball team,
So
Uh,
there's like the checkers on their legs. Are they supposed to be like tights?
I think they're different flavors.
This sounds like it was meant for us
They're like-
instead.
I think
Scratch
she's
and sniff
sour. I
stickers.
think she's
What's
sour.
the message behind all that
She's
encryption?
what?
She's what?
You talk about different flavors
Sour lime.
Yeah, she's sour.
with the
She's-
green hair.
She's Ringo.
Oh no, she's a
Lime
beetle man.
Ricky.
Everybody's favorite Beatle. Best loved, best remembered. This is all, by the way, what Ringo's writing in his own
Ringo's
obituary.
writing.
Best
Best
loved,
best remembered.
best remembered. Everybody
Is he
loves
still
Ringo.
alive?
I don't know. I think he's like the only Beatle still
Poor
alive.
Ringo.
There's Paul McCartney still alive, right?
No, he got shot. He got blown
No,
up.
that wasn't Paul McCartney. That was
That was
John
John
Lennon.
Lennon.
He got
And
blown up
honestly-
too.
Seriously, though?
Honestly, you know what you have.
Given his body is so inconvenient. My surveillance
Right.
rangers
Things to get us taken down immediately.
She's like, bodies are so inconvenient. Oh, to be a corporal form on the human plane. Oh, terrible.
Yeah, sure. Maximum
Corporeal.
secrecy. But now they've made 2 humanoid platforms. I assumed Ion's whole thing was
Good
always
thing
being
no one's
an
watching.
observer and
Man, this Thai guy really doesn't know his English. What is it, like his second language? No, it's my
this
first.
Kenny jerk doesn't like sports. He's like, well, yeah.
I mean, but they're not wrong.
it'll also be boring to watch unless you're playing
Yeah.
it or if you're in person.
dirty
In-person
over
basketball is really good. If you're at a basketball game, it is
Yeah.
great. But
My-
watching basketball on
How we have
TV, you're
to
kind of
think
like,
about
okay,
it with
alright,
human
you're doing shuttle
imitations.
runs. You're in the fitness grand pacer test, just going back and forth constantly. It's like,
My thing with sports is, even if you're not at the game, they're fun to watch with a group of people because
Yes.
everyone's interested. But trying to watch a sport game, even sports I like football, cannot watch them alone. I have to have people with me who are also interested just to converse.
football is
Backwards compatibility I can deal with.
football is tied with basketball for the most interesting sport to watch.
Fine.
I don't know, I think
Guess I won't get
Hockey's
into
pretty
that
fun to
right away.
watch.
You're right. Hockey's the best. Hockey's the funnest.
Also, if you want some good sports to watch, look up sidecar racing. Motorcycle sidecar racing.
Ooh.
I'm not joking, those
How
guys
about
get
we
me
cut the
nuts.
cons for now?
Are they
I
using
gotta focus if I wanna get
the
used to
Russian
this body.
one, the Ural?
Fights a
I
bear.
don't know.
That
But
one-
they do it.
I sent you a picture of it. Dude. It was at the fair last year. It's
So
it's been unchanged since like World War II. It's a motorcycle with a sidecar attached.
Oh!
It has
So there is vintage
driveway?
sidecar racing too.
Make contracts
They
with
do
these
vintage.
demons.
But you know the Isle of Man where they walk
Partners'
down the
powers
whole
as their own.
Irish island and do
Okay.
motorcycle. They'll just race throughout the whole island, like close off the streets.
Yeah.
They'll do sidecar racing on that.
I don't get into that.
Well, about 3 to
They're
5
actually
people,
streaming it this
about
year.
3 people die a year on it. 3 to 5 people
Oh.
die while doing it. I know this because when I was hitchhiking in my bike today, I told you guys about the fact that I had to hitchhike, right?
You told me that it died.
Oh yeah. So my bike, I was out of gas.
Not bicycle,
This is
motorcycle.
all I need
Yeah,
to fight
just-
back,
My
huh?
motorcycle.
Hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah, it's Pixie. But so my bike ran out of gas on the
I'm a
interstate.
nerd.
And
Alright, get this show.
immediately this tiny Fiat pulled out in front of me, and this giant Irish man comes out and he's like, "Oh, I cannot believe it!" like in the most like Dairy Girl style accent.
Serious?
And for inability for me to imitate the accent, he was just like, "Look, this is I raced motorcycles all the time as a kid, so like I love motorcycles. I can't do it anymore. I'm here in the States visiting my kid at
I
college,
know.
and we were going to go to church because it was Sunday. I had to go to a meeting at
Or
work,
he's dead.
and no, I'm sure it's just a bullet wound.
He's sleeping.
The blood is out of his head.
He went
Put
to
it back
farm.
in.
Rich people go to farms.
But
Props
So,
to
yeah.
anyone who knows that reference.
what happened is that the guy picked me up, drove me to the nearest gas station where they were not selling jerry cans, unfortunately. The entire time he's talking about how he loved motorcycles and he knew
So much
people
for starting
because
things
he lived in Ireland when they shut down things in order to do the racing.
Oh man.
Yeah, he knew people who died. He knew quite a few people who died. He's like, oh, like my favorite person died in like '94 or whatever, and he's like, and then his son died right
If
after.
there's any of the soul left in
Jeez! And he's like, oh, it's great. It's his favorite sport.
We have so many limiters on that function, Ringo.
Hey,
So this is like NASCAR, but without the cage to protect you, right? He's like,
the
yeah, pretty
entire
much.
world to the stage.
Yeah.
Except for imagine you can veer off a
Gotta
line
go
of
fast.
Oh,
Especially
dude.
seeing as we were just
A 90? Oh, cliff, yeah.
there's
Also,
no telling how
evidently
much
one of the
we
better
saw
forms of racing to watch is electric Formula One, because you don't have to deal with the deafening noise from the engines that went off the walls and everything.
So they're just silent.
Yeah, well that's it. Because
They
like,
sound
the
kinda
cars
like
are still
bees.
going 200 miles an hour, but you're not having to plug your ears. It's the weirdest thing evidently.
Okay, but
You have to plug your ears when you're watching it on TV.
No, like when you're watching it live.
I was gonna say, I just watch NASCAR and
Like, could you just
be
do
able
it?
to crash.
You are irreplaceable.
Thanks, babe. But don't worry.
I thought she said thanks, babe. I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
Nope, she's gonna soul hack him and try to capture his soul and basically bring him back to life.
He's like, thighs!
Emergency
I'm
override.
awake.
His name better be Lazarus.
Self-regulation suspended.
His name, they've already said it at least
Yeah.
once. I don't remember.
I don't know, but he's got old scuffed up shoes.
Spell
Just gonna
sequence.
He's got style, I think.
So it's like soul
Is it
hacking
good
is
stuff?
evidently transferring the consciousness to the great like supercomputer Aeon or whatever that made them.
Whoa.
She got an electric
Systems
personality.
are good.
You know how Persona kind of dabbled with things like with the maid outfit and everything? I feel like this is gonna go just full hog and almost go get you impact.
The maid.
That's what I'm worried
the maid
about.
thing was my least favorite part of that whole game.
And the problem is that out of all things that I think that they should have gone farther on,
He's
that's
back.
one of the few times that I think if they would have gone farther on it, they would have showed just how terrible the prostitution angle is. And you would have felt like gross watching it as a consequence of how bad it is.
Agent now
And you would have
Felt
sympathized with
kind
the
of gross
character.
anyways.
Well, it felt gross because they were also at the same time being like, hey, you want to get your jollies by watching like your teacher dress up as a maid. I'm like, that's never
No,
been a fantasy of
actually-
mine.
No.
Now I'm gonna stop the conversation because I know we have the music turned down. But it's fire.
Yeah. This is cool.
Yeah. Honestly, it's cool to watch.
I mean I haven't really done much except moved around a tiny bit, so
I'm sure it's going to be like Final Fantasy, where 99% of the story makes absolutely F all sense.
well because they
But it's really,
It's Atlas. It might make
it's
sense.
gorgeous, it's fun
not.
to watch.
well because they already started with the
It's
it's to
the-
stop the end of the universe. They're not starting out with a go save the kitty cat or whatever. Like they're starting out with the by the way, the universe is doomed if you fail.
Yeah.
So they're already starting you out
There's
with
more
the
ideas.
You gotta just like resurrect a couple guys because they're dead, but they'll be
Yeah.
helpful.
It's not like Persona where it's like, well, you just got to stop yourself from being expelled.
Arrow.
It's a no. By the way, this is what's on the line already.
Poor man's head just gets shot
Isn't-
open as an opening act.
In like 3 the world ends. Persona 3.
Yeah.
Which I haven't played, but well, when they
You are
record
playing
it-
through Persona 4 Golden though, right?
No, I haven't started it
Well,
because I'm like we could stream this.
it's
that'd
the
be
one.
great.
It's the one to summon your
Yeah,
personas. You
sorry.
have to shoot yourself in the head, which is pretty cool.
Well, in 4 you just crush a deck of cards.
Well, yeah. So from what I
I thought you
understand,
just
oh,
crushed
by the way, I
flame.
meant to tell you, Gameopolis, Mandalorian playing cards for $9.
I bought one of them playing
Okay.
cards at a fair last year.
Oh, the
No,
fair,
no, thank you for letting me
the
know.
fair starts.
I'm
Next
going.
Saturday.
I'm going on the 5th,
So. Good.
so I'll be going.
Oh, that's Monday. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, oh, I gotta remember to ask for that day off. Holy cow.
Monday's a holiday, a federal holiday.
I work till 6.
Discount tire might not follow that.
I've got holiday hours to 96.
I have to.
But you get like double the pay.
No, I don't do holiday.
You don't get holiday pay?
Yeah, I don't do holiday pay. Believe me, if I got double paid, then I would be working every single holiday they let.
This must be
My
a
dad said
Can
the
you,
same thing when he worked at the lumber mill, because some of the unionized ones would do like
Yeah.
triple or quadruple pay for Christmas. He's like, sorry guys, but if I was working there, we'd be celebrating Christmas a day later.
It's the right thing to do when you make so much money in one day.
It's like, this is a week's worth.
We're turning into jerks.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. What would my
He's like a child version of it. What's going on?
pay be? Yeah, I would make about $400 in a day. Yeah, I'd do it.
It would be nice. Okay, Partridge Family.
That's Beach Boys.
They did it for the Partridge Family opening as well. The TV show.
I think that makes you more of a nerd about Partridge Family because you know about them.
I've never heard of the Partridge Family.
It was part of the old, where was it, 70s sitcoms?
70s, yeah.
Back when it was, all the sitcoms were the big families living in one house, basically.
Yeah. And then Brady
So,
Bunch, like, neutered
I've
it
seen
so
Brady
bad that
Bunch.
no one ever did it again.
A little bit.
Well, I guess Full House technically came
I
after.
did Full House. I've seen that. Some of it. I've seen. Oh,
Except
that's
we know who
That's
died
terrible.
there, so it wasn't much of a Mexican standoff.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat. What's going to happen?
Why are we recruiting the guy who's dead? He's
yeah,
clearly
obviously
less
he's bad at
good.
his job. Also, why are they still using revolvers? That is an antiquated form of technology.
But they're like technological revolvers. They shoot laser revolvers or something. Oh, he's dead.
That was a nice way to edit that.
Yeah.
I just find it funny that you're allowed to look at the bullet hole in his forehead, but you're not allowed to watch the bullet enter his forehead.
Well, yeah, you know. There's gotta be a line somewhere. Oh, he's back. He's like, oh, so that's how I died.
Here we go.
There he is. He's less dead. Stand up.
I'm just gonna hit auto, so that way I don't have to remember anything.
Is it interesting that in all of his scenes so far he's been sitting down or laying down?
I was going to say,
Like he's not standing up for himself or something?
Also, given Japanese culture, he's only wearing one glove while she's wearing two.
So you're aware,
That
huh?
leads to hidden intention.
Did you know
I
you're
think
dead
that's a sign of like hidden intentions or a false person or whatever.
When he only has one glove or when he has two?
No gloves, like it basically
Didn't
as
exactly
a
go out
not showing who
peacefully,
they
did
really
you?
are.
Oh, okay.
well, the question is
Just leave me alone.
how long can you
I'd like to
have a
spend my
bullet in
final
your brain and
moments
your
in
body's
peace.
all dead and decomposing? How long does that work until your soul leaves
So
your
you're
body?
just gonna
Like
drown
in this
yourself in the
universe.
fray?
I'm not asking an actual like
I don't know, how
theological
long did it
question.
take her to get there from the time he
It
shot
looked
that?
like the blood was still, because it was it raining? Anyway, but the blood
I
still
only
looked
know bits and
fresh.
pieces.
Yeah,
My
so-
senses
Like it hadn't
are probably
coagulated
down.
yet.
in
So
10 minutes.
just what is it that you
Tops.
regret so badly?
Well, if it was
I'd stick
raining,
around for 10 minutes if I got shot.
if it was
Maybe.
raining, the
Or
water
leave
would
immediately.
bond to the
Why?
platelets and thin it out
And
and
why are you
prevent
inside me like
solid
this?
Yeah, but it also
coagulation.
would have washed the blood away at that point.
My name's Ringo.
Yeah, it
I'm
would
an
dilute
agent
it.
of
It looked pretty solid still.
Okay.
So it must have just started.
Agent of...
Oh, you're looking too far into this, maybe.
She's like, I need to figure out how long he's been dead. So it's like touching the blood and licking it. She's like, yum 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 yum. Just keeps
But she,
going
like,
back and forth.
Of technology.
Licked her finger and like touched his forehead, like boom, wiggled that
She
finger
also did
around
that
his
weird,
brain.
like,
and then
she did that weird Yu-Gi-Oh stuff where it's like that or whatever.
It's time to desecrate this body.
There's a fine line between archaeology and grave robbing. I still don't know where it's at.
I would
Yeah,
probably
neither
say
are the people in Jurassic Park.
Singularities
No,
typically
no,
occur
no.
outside of time. But here's one right
honestly,
They also didn't know where the line between, you know, things that are ethical and
things that you
aren't.
can and things that you shouldn't.
Alright. So why are you here?
They never stopped it.
Man, I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
now. I'm here to bring you back.
Man,
You're
turn
gonna
it
help
on.
me prevent the end of the
Can you imagine if Ringo's just like, okay, I'm going to bring you back to life, brings it back, and his body's like, hey, by the way, half my brain's missing, dies again. She's like, frick, I forgot to heal him.
Your soul will disappear. And your
I knew there
chance
was a
of
step I
coming back
missed.
will go with it.
It's on here on this instruction
Okay,
sheet.
so the answer to my question of how long does your soul stay in your body after you're bleeding out of your frontal lobe is very soon.
Oh.
Which I would say between 5 minutes and 10 minutes is very soon.
Yeah.
Because like if someone says, hey, where or when are you going to arrive? It's like, oh, I'll be there soon. Usually about 5
But what's
minutes.
soon for a computer program?
Yeah,
Depends on the processor. If it's Windows 96, 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. I'm
She's
dial-up
clearly
still.
a dual core. She's
15 to
doing
20
right.
minutes. That's pretty soon.
Oh,
She probably has 16 gigs of RAM.
What just happened? Did I miss something?
is that a comment on? the
Is she
size of her
wearing
butt?
like cyclist gloves? Is that
That's
like
what
cut
it.
off here?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It looks like actually reverse archer's gloves because she's got an enforcement on her finger right here. Like,
I can't let it end here.
oh, are you looking at something on your nose there, buddy?
She's gonna stand up for himself.
See,
It's about time, Ringo.
like she needs
Ringo.
enforcement for when she sticks
Ringo.
her finger in someone's like bullet hole in their forehead. How often does she do
Or
this?
her trigger pull is just so heavy. With that massive revolver. So what are you shooting? Oh, a 56 Magnum? It's like, what?
Well, to prevent other people from using it, she's got a blade on the on the
Really just
trigger.
got-
So actually, with
Blast.
James Bond was a Skyfall. They had,
Skyfall was good.
Skyfall's such a
there,
good
except you
Shout
know,
out
when
to
so,
Skyfall.
spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, great movie, go watch it. But you know when he
get
falls
in
into the
So
dealer
back
pit?
where it should
Yeah.
be?
They had to edit out gloves because he originally wanted gloves in the hand. But just prior to that, they had done it's imprinted to your finger so no one else can shoot it. So if you look, they had to edit out thick leather gloves on his
There we
hand.
go. That
I'm
actually
sorry,
worked.
guys, but I wouldn't have cared for that logical inconsistency. It wouldn't have hurt my feelings. I think gloves look cool.
Except the problem was one of the bad guys that during that scene tried to pick it up and shoot it and couldn't.
Oh yeah.
If it was just him wearing gloves in the firing, no one would have cared. But
Even the Daniel Craig James Bond, I don't go for
Nope.
perfect
That
logical
definitely wasn't a
consistency
dream.
and gripping
You got
storytelling.
shot in the
Though,
head. I used my
But
hand
weirdly
to
enough,
house,
the motorcycle
and then
stunts
you
all
came in.
practical.
weirdly enough, Skyfall ticks all those boxes.
Like when they're riding along the rooftops, those are practical underlights. Like they actually had stunt riders
Did
doing
Ion's power do
And they
that
wore
too?
skull caps because that's the most protection they could get
That's
without
more
it
like a side
being
effect.
just helmets.
With the soul
That
restorer,
man
the
called a
body
bullet
was
hole,
like
making it so you can
like a
whistle through his
macro level
forehead.
two-step
He's
homeostasis,
He looks fine now.
which organic cells
The
are.
picture of health.
I'm sorry. This is the most yada yada sure some sort of science. Why not? It's like souped up homeostasis with this.
At least they're not using the catch-all magic.
I mean, they are.
They're trying to. They're
They're
actually
like, well, when your
explaining
souls
it.
return to your body,
It's
it kills the
techno
body.
sorcery.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They're technomancers.
Because the whole point is she's just like, look, when your souls return to your body, it like speeds up your healing process. And I'm like, one,
You wanted that?
his soul was in his body when he
You're
got
not
a
even a
bullet
little
through it.
suspicious?
Time to heal.
so like,
So it wasn't real?
what?
Was it just an illusion or something?
What?
That
His
demon
name is
smell.
Aaron.
Oh no, it's still
His name's
totally
Oliver
real.
Queen.
Why does her?
Oh, of course.
She
I
has
mean,
like LEDs in her
it
jacket.
felt pretty real.
And in her like skull.
So I died.
So her hair's like.
It's
black.
because she's a computer
I'm
program.
gonna get used to
Oh,
weird
that makes
things
sense.
in my line of work.
It's like
Can you
first
change
code
the
the
LEDs?
Definitely a first.
It's like a. Oh,
Which
yeah,
Kitty
dude.
still hasn't gone and watched that yet.
You want to get out.
It's on Netflix. Hey guys, Code Lyoko's on Netflix. It's good. Tired use Code Lyoko. You're welcome.
Thanks, Ringo.
It's there's a lot of things that I covered up with rose tinted glass when I went back and watched like the first 2 episodes.
No, I should go watch it again. I
How
haven't
do you-
seen it in
how do
like
you
10
spell it?
years. Code
Yeah.
C-O-D
Yeah, I'm good on that part, dude.
Lyoko.
Anytime.
I want you to guess what part of that
Lead
sentence
up
I had an
to-
issue
Arrow, I
with
just
spelling.
had to tag along
L
on that
I-
mission of yours.
K
Know how to fight?
Of course I do. Wouldn't
Oh.
be bragging.
Well,
Then
Sure.
wouldn't that be
Just like that again.
Lyoko.
don't have time for questions after what happened
L-Y?
back there.
See?
How bad this
I totally
mission's
spelled
going.
it.
I'm not in
L-Y-
a position to turn
okay.
down help.
Robot's kind of reductive.
Leo.
Well, Ringo, whatever you
Oh.
are,
Interesting.
I'm glad you're
It's
on
good.
my side.
Yatek
I
Arasu,
think.
huh?
Supranationalist group
It was
based
good
in
when I was
Japan.
like
They
7.
work behind the
I
scenes.
watched it
Most
on
of
the
our
grounds.
operatives are devil summoners, like me. That's why I was here. Yatagarasu had me.
Which you totally botched and got your skull ventilated. Say no more. So now we just look around this area.
Yeah.
I'm loving the
That's
amount
the
of ways
idea.
they're saying like they're
Come on,
changing
this
from you
way.
just got shot.
What I'm surprised at is that they
Skull
haven't
got
stepped on
blasted.
any of the jokes that I've made either on how to phrase it.
I said
So I
blast,
believe this video
so-
alone has
Okay,
about
okay.
15 ways
Mr.
to
Betas,
explain
back
how
on his
someone
feet.
has managed
For
to be
now,
able to
I'll
see
do
from the
a
front
little
of your head
drilled.
to the back of your head.
Humility.
Noted.
Did she say Mr. Beast?
Well,
Mr.
at least
Beta.
we're not on the
Oh.
fast track to the
I was
Olympics
like,
now.
wow. I didn't know he was that popular.
Well, guess we know who wears the pants in the party.
Technically, it's her in the
Technically,
metaphorical
it's
sense,
Arrow.
but in the literal sense, it's Arrow.
She's wearing.
She's got
booty
abnormally
shorts.
long legs. Like, look at that. She
Oh,
looks like a
she's a
gazelle
hero.
hopping through the Serengeti.
Dun, 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 dun.
What the? Arrow? I thought Kamaraki killed you. Did we
Yeah.
get bad intel?
Boris man.
Boorish man,
I do love to be a boorish man.
Who's this? Friend of you?
He's a devil summoner from the Phantom Society.
Oh, so that.
Everybody wants to think that they'll be like the hero in the game, but really, most of us are just the boorish man.
Don't worry, I catch on fast.
It's okay. Hot
Any-
takes with time.
Why do their weapons look like they're out of Ruby?
Out of Ruby?
Ruby.
Out of Ruby.
The anime that was taken over by Rooster Teeth that no one watches
Oh,
anymore.
RWBY.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, great music. Like, as far as rock
There's the
music goes, that's
explanation
pretty
for what her little like.
Oh, it's a
leg
sword.
tattoos are.
Cool. There's swords.
Weapons? Great.
Hit blades.
During that whole time that she's talking, he's like shot her 15 times.
Well, except he has a staff.
No more screw
Yeah.
ups.
Can't shoot her. The only guy with a gun is Arrow. He doesn't seem to be shooting.
Well,
anybody.
and the guy who shot Arrow.
Well, you know. Oh, what is
Oh,
that?
and we're immediately into furry fetishes. Okay.
I don't know what you mean. I am very straight. Well, you can still be straight.
You can still recognize
Come on,
a
Arrow.
fetish when you see
You
it.
can still be a nightmare of a person.
You don't have to have the fetish to call people out on having the fetish.
Damn it!
Hey, what's the...
Can't summon my.
It's because you're dead.
Squirm out of this one.
Looks like Arrow's demon control privileges got trying to get it. Probably a side effect.
You got transferred to who?
Her.
Oh. So you gotta give it.
What?
Why does this look like a mix of all sci-fi guns ever?
But I
Yes,
optimized
and
the summoning
Yu-Gi-Oh!
program.
At the same time.
Yeah.
You what?
I mean, it oddly works, but it's still kind of fun.
He's like, I just met this computer program like 15 seconds ago. I have no.
She's
idea
kind of
what's
hot,
going on.
but like it's kind of distracting.
But also, she has like taken all of my superpowers. So
She's
it's kind
Zero
of
We're
and the
fighting for our
Boorish
own
man.
cause.
yeah, Boorish man. Yeah, take some electricity right teeth.
Ah, I stab.
Oh, you did physical damage.
I really thought that she wasn't going to be an electric.
You can do it too, you know. Give it a
What?
try.
Okay. Let's try to copy what
What tipped you off to that?
There's nothing that would have tipped me off to it. That's why.
You know, I don't know. Alex is learning the complex battle system. We are not paying attention.
No,
We'll
it's,
be no help.
it's basically just baby's first. JRPG.
Yeah, it's having me do the attacks that we
Oh.
do.
There's an
Ooh,
it's out.
interesting.
What?
do we have to go to communion?
I think it's catechist today.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
It's like an all-out attack.
Enjoyed it? Out of my way.
But I got 2 demon stacks, which instead of doing the all-out attack, that's what this one does when you get into the weak spot, is it just stacks instead.
I like the all-out attack, honestly.
that's
The
going to be
humans
the
will be
issue with
shining.
Persona 6 is that Persona 5 is so hyper stylized in everything. Everything has such a cool design,
Yeah.
and everything is integrated into
So
that
it
user
is-
interface perfectly. And apart from the Sabbath,
Which is when you hit the weak spot.
I guess Palm Sunday is the best time. Is that considered the most
Ash
powerful
Wednesday,
Sabbath?
anyone?
Sabbath?
It's not a
That's
Sabbath.
insane. I didn't even know my team.
That's, I will say, as far as trying to
Passover
keep,
Sunday?
I was trying to keep things,
Isn't that Palm Sunday?
trying to keep things fresh.
It's the
I do
week
like
before.
that, so that way it's not a complete ripoff of Persona. It's just close.
Yeah.
Can't help but wonder about
Also,
that.
sorry,
Do
we're
you think
distracted by the fact
reason
that
you weren't
neither of
able
us
to
grew up
summon anything
Catholic.
on your own.
Huh?
Simply put, your soul was altered.
You know,
And
it really
looks
throws me
so
for a
it
loop
may be
is,
because of a difference in our ability.
I don't know
but
what Lent is.
And there's nothing.
no. There's a
People
lot
are like,
about
yeah, I'm
soul
fasting
that
for
I
Lent.
can
I mean,
understand
it's
for
like,
the time being.
They're like,
fast
I love
something
fish.
for like a
I
week. I'm like,
can't summon.
let's
My
not.
favorite one is the fish, but not the honeycomb.
And on top of that, the pluses do
You
seem
really need to
outweigh the
fast as
minuses.
honeycomb.
Looks like you're stuck with me. I've got to ask though, why that guy?
I was on a
You're a
mission for
diabetic.
Yatagarasu.
Oh,
You didn't
gosh.
cut off on the sugar.
Dude, I had a patient come up to me the
Phantom
other day,
Society.
and she was like, "Yo,
And their Yata
I
Phantom
technically
Society
have
is a
diabetes,"
secret
and I'm
What
like,
do you mean technically?
"I have no medications for you that are for the treatment of diabetes."
So just because you guys aren't paying attention, they just introduced that the guy we just part of, or the part of society
Things are
that wants
starting to
something
come
about
together here in a pretty big way.
that he's from trying to prevent it. So they've already introduced major
Count
players.
ions appear.
Alright,
That's cool. Okay.
All right,
Sounds like we better
thank
tell
you
him.
for the catch up.
Now we know.
He's
Because
basically
we
the
suck at
sports
paying
center of
attention.
the.
Well, whoever's actually playing the game seems to fill that role.
That's fair. But
I'm just disappointed we couldn't do more stream because the Elgato broke. Oh, by the way, that's why we took a break. Our Elgato capture card broke, And that's also why we're switching games, because we had to switch to PC gaming. So as soon as we get that figured out, we'll be back to doing Star Wars and Stray, because we enjoy both of those games.
Yeah, they're
We
really
bring
fun.
back Pokemon, probably.
Yep. Bring back
Right.
Pokemon.
I suppose. It's more of a punishment for me than it is for you.
It's fun.
I assure you.
Oh shoot. what was it?
I have
Oh,
nothing against
yeah.
Pokemon except it bores me.
Oh, what I was saying was I had a patient,
Yes.
and she talked about she technically had diabetes, but she was not
Can you say this on that?
diagnosed. I'm not using her name.
Okay,
Technically not a HIPAA breach.
Just wanted to make sure.
So instead of doing the ambush, you stab them in the back and then you get thrown on top of them.
I mean, that's technically weird.
Yeah.
If I got stabbed in the back, I would feel like
I certainly would be
Nice.
like, ow!
Like, what the heck?
What's this then?
If I'm still alive,
But,
I might say some choice words.
so this nutso lady takes out a pickle in a prescription bottle. So prescription bottle, she has put a small finger-sized pickle in there with a small tablespoon of pickle juice. And she's like, if my blood sugar ever gets too high, I eat this. It controls my blood sugar. And I'm like, there's not a single bit of that that makes any lick of sense whatsoever.
How do you know your blood sugar's too high? Does she have one of those scanners?
No.
Then
You
she
can
has, like,
feel when you've
severe-
got hyperglycemia or hypoglycemia,
Hmm.
but the problem is that if you feel it, it's too late and you need to fix it.
Yeah.
That's the point of insulin.
Oh, they're weak to electricity. Gosh dang it.
Or
yeah.
glycogen.
We're just gonna-
Shooting in the face.
Bang, bang, bang. You know,
I just want to put it that his horrible stance in firearm control, he would have missed all those shots. Just gonna
it
throw that
also
one
would
out.
have ripped out your shoulder if it had any
Yeah.
kick to it. But
If
if
you-
you,
if
I
you
mean,
shoot like
if a gun's that big and
you
heavy,
shoot like
it's not gonna
this-
have kicks.
It's quite the arm workout.
Well, look at the characters level up along with your demons, because they're not personas in this.
Oh.
yeah, your persona, you can call them
People get mad at me. Sure. Possible. But what do we know? Who do they know? Who are they to tell us what to do?
that. Who are you? What are you talking about?
I don't know. What was the story?
Yeah,
Pickle
it was the-
juice. That
yeah,
that
it was
is
just-
it?
Yeah, it does not. But whatever.
But she thought it did.
And she's like, yeah, it helps me, and I like reported that back. And
So you just like
my
to your
pharmacist is
pharmacist,
sitting
like,
there.
"So this is crazy.
My pharmacist is just sitting there like this.
Hey, Ringo.
This is so stupid. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
I'm like, look, if
What is
she's
he supposed to? She just has to go see a doctor.
Oh.
she has seen many doctors, believe me.
You just never listen.
I fill prescriptions for her all the time.
She doesn't.
But don't worry,
prescription
your essential
for
oils will save her.
insulin?
We did have a patient come up today. And she's just like, oh, I don't want to give my kid. I think it was like Robitussin, some sort of cough syrup. So she's like, but I've heard this essential oil is really great. My kid was diagnosed with this. Well, more like the
Whooping
doctor is.
cough?
The doctor might have thinks he might have this, but I'm dang sure. And I'm like, every part of this is a red flag, man. You're nuts. You're absolutely freaking nuts.
Did you just talk to that fairy?
Yeah, so what it is when you enter a dungeon, your demons will go on scout for you, and they'll find things related to the story for you.
Sick.
So like right here.
Hey, look, listen.
Yeah, except they give you things.
Pixie.
I'm not the only one who sees the pubic hair, right?
I'm purposely ignoring that.
1,500 yen for that?
Best of luck.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta fill out your logbook somehow.
Your persona book.
Compendium.
There we go.
Still have to finish my second playthrough. Yeah, well, I'm on the last.
The problem
The
is
last one, and I'm like, all I have is like, I've got like 9 days left.
my wife's doing the same
So
thing.
I'm like, I should, you know, I think I'm in the palace right now,
Maruki's palace.
and I need to do something. I need to max out Futaba, and I need to max out Sumer, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
That's all. I've maxed everyone.
I
except for Oya.
didn't get the
I need to max
backslash.
Oya and the other two.
Oh gosh.
Done.
You're
The
basically
whole game finished 100%.
You're basically at the
I've already
same.
platinumed it.
You're basically at the
Like,
same place my wife is,
Its power.
and she's been there for like 2 months now.
Oh, dude, I just haven't played in the last 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, she just suddenly went cold turkey,
Yes.
and I got her to play for 6 hours one day. She was enjoying the crap out of it, and she hasn't gotten back to it. And I'm like, okay, you're clearly avoiding the ending. And she's like, I don't think so. And I'm like,
No.
Yes. Yes,
I
you
know
are.
I am because
Yes.
I've already finished the game.
yep.
And I'm like, but like,
Well, we also had to call you out because like 4 o'clock. Like, Ty, I want to see the end, but I also want to go to bed. Finish the game.
I want to see the end, and I also want to see my mattress. Please.
can you make that happen? And I was like, fine.
You're like, but look, I can make the character spin. Wee.
Wee. But look, I can listen to
Okay.
this one more dialogue for the 4th time. These random people
I
that
see
I've
it.
listened to at least 7 times throughout the game.
As I go through the game with Becca again, I do sit there and go, man, I wish they would have given a separate confidant arc for Sai.
Yeah, I mean,
It would have been just a
kinda.
great thing to add. They had it originally.
I don't know where you would.
It was in the original plan. That's the issue. Is that the game is so.
You're so busy.
Well, it's somehow so bloated and so streamlined at the same time. And I don't know how. There's so much content. There's an unbelievable amount of content. You feel drowned in it at the very beginning of the game, and by the end, you're just sitting
She
there
called you
grasping for
Red?
anything else.
I'm gonna get that demon dog out of here as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful! Did you
Lick
see
it
that?
right in the face.
Did you see that timing? That
Alright,
spacing?
now teabag.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Follow your lead.
Can you get 2 swords? Is that a thing?
You probably have 2
Can
swords.
you dual wield?
Your thighs have another one.
Great
They
job.
call me
This power.
Mr. Tips.
Natural. Silent as snowfall.
Silent as snowfall. I'm sure that's just better in Japanese.
Only because we wouldn't be able to understand that.
We're like, wow, that probably meant something. That's what I figure every time. It doesn't
I do
actually
like
give
the
me
animation of
subtitles.
this so
Like, yeah,
far.
that probably meant
Yeah.
something.
It looks very different.
It's good. Yeah, I like it. Like the digitized this.
My issue is that I actually don't love standard JRPGs.
Let's go with that.
Persona and a couple of Final Fantasies are enough of a mold break that I end up loving them in spite of the fact that I don't adore JRPGs.
Yeah, I liked.
That should be
I liked Kingdom Hearts. I played
I haven't-
most of them. I've
Okay.
never finished
I haven't played any
anything
of the
except for the
Final
3rd one and like all of the spin-offs.
Let's face it, the best part of JRPGs is the music.
Yeah.
The music is unbelievably good.
I gotta figure out how to switch my demons though.
Do you know how to
From
go in the
alcoholism
settings?
to parental abuse.
How do you open your menu?
I believe lust is a sin, by the way. For how many times you keep going back to that same furry.
This isn't called the 7 Deadly Sins.
the,
This is called Soul Hackers. We're hacking souls.
the rough thing about the
Sins.
7 deadly sins is that everybody always starts with lust.
Yeah, why?
I don't understand. But
Clearly, gluttony is more of a problem for most people. I'm just kidding.
but no,
Actually, sloth and
The-
gluttony, I think, should probably be tops
the
for a
villains
lot of our
of
society.
Persona, the villains of Persona 5 are based off of
Yeah.
Seven
And we
Deadly
even
Sins as
started
well.
with lust.
yeah. We start with lust.
He's the worst person ever.
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood straight up tells you that they're based off of the 7 deadly sins, and
Well,
we
they
start with
name them
lust.
that too.
Yeah, and we start with lust.
He's like,
Well-
I'm not pulling any punches, but also this person's name is
Well, in
Lust.
Persona 5, all the middle names of like the final forms of
Okay,
everybody
so-
is based off of the characteristic Judeo-Christian demons that regulate and are like responsible in the mythological sense for that sin.
So it looks
Osmodeus
like
is the
I can
demon
only
of
equip
lust.
one. So it's not like Persona where I can swap through 10 of them or whatever.
Mhm.
Looks like I have to equip Hour to Battle for the battle I'm going into.
Oh,
Oh.
At least that's. I mean, that might change as I get further on, but.
that's pretty cool.
It's interesting.
But yeah,
Makes you have
Kamush
to guess.
Kamushita, his middle name in the game
No
is
time for small fry.
is
Let's push on
Asmodeus.
through.
Asmodeus is the god of lust, or not the god of lust, the demon of lust.
Right.
And so they directly relate that too, as well as the items that you get for defeating them.
Yeah, you get the
For the
skulls.
Yeah, it creates the ring of lust or the bangle or necklace or tchotchke
The
of
rings.
lust, whatever it is.
It's a ring.
The tchotchke
The ring of lust, the ring of greed,
the anklet,
pot of greed. I summon pot of greed.
the anklet of greed, the nose piercing of gluttony.
I do find it interesting that you're not just fighting the demons, you have to fight the demon and the summoner.
Yeah,
That
that's
is weird.
interesting. It's nothing quite like punching a demon in the face.
I still love that they're like, look at these mythical creatures and these demons, and we're all fighting anyways. By the way, I'm gonna just shoot you in the head and it kills you.
I have a gun.
That should
The
Ultimate
greatest
weapon.
I have a sci-fi sword.
The ultimate weapon.
However, yeah, a bullet through the brain. At least the beginning of the game seems to indicate that's pretty much the Achilles heel of everybody.
Well, I mean, they found one weakness. I'm allergic to bullets.
That's
Is
what
it the
Because-
red? No, they're not made of lead. Man.
It's worse when they're shot at me. I have velocities. Causes extreme bleeding through the pores.
I'm like Superman, except for I'm weak to blunt instruments, bullets, water.
I can't fly. I can't see very
I'm
good.
terrified of heights.
You know, I can't breathe ice or fire. Laser beams out of my eyeballs.
looks like it'll work.
I love that every
Yeah,
about
laser beam shot in my eyes, and maybe my eyes will be a little better.
I love that
You know,
every,
probably
every 10 or
should've-
15 years, they were like, Superman's underpowered. That's the biggest problem with Superman, is he doesn't have enough powers. What if we give him an additional power?
Yeah, and the biggest problem with Batman is, his sidekick got a little
I was just getting
roughed up.
started.
We're like, we're tired of this one. We're gonna give him a new one because we think his old one probably aged out of it.
And we're going to torture his family.
Batman's all about family.
There is literally not a single Robin
Batman
where they don't torture the
should be
family.
played-
of them. Honestly,
family.
I don't get it. If I were Tim Drake and I was like, hey, by the way, I figured out who Batman is, I want to become Robin, and you go up to him, and right before I finish saying the phrase, I want to be your Robin, I would think back to everybody else whose family gets murdered because they're related to Batman, and I'd be like, yo, actually, on second thought, can you give me a different name? Maybe if you call me just
Tim
like,
Drake is supposed to be the smartest.
yeah, maybe if you just call me Psychic Boy, I don't know, something.
Could you call me Jumpman after Jumpman Mario?
Can you call me, like, useless, moody teenager?
Military.
Because I already got one of those. As Jason John's getting killed over back.
You gonna tell me?
Well,
It's fine.
It's like,
I'm
didn't
sure.
your old Robin die? Yeah. So, can I be the new one? No. But you can be Sparrow.
Bruce, I've got an interesting idea. What? How many life insurance policies have you taken out on your young wards? One per. How many times have you had to fulfill that? Depends on the continuity. On most of them, every single one of them I've had to pull out that life insurance policy. But you imagine that the
My name's
lawyer-
Dick Grayson. I've never died.
He's died in
He's
plenty
like-
of versions.
He's sitting on the therapy bed and he's like, I've never died. They're like,
But
are you
everybody
sure
around
about
me
that? He's like,
constantly dies.
no, I'm not sure about that.
In Justice alone, he dies in the very beginning.
In Injustice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Which is
because
so stupid.
Because Damien kills him.
Yeah, throws a baton at him and he doesn't
It
stop it.
snaps his neck
Yeah.
by accident. Which is
It's
one
when
of
Batman's
the
like,
dumbest.
I'm really mad at you right now.
Well, it's one of the dumbest things
You
you
just killed my other
He's
son.
like, my dad doesn't approve of me. I'm like, maybe because you murdered your brother?
Yeah.
And the writers are like, this is high art. I'm like, no, you literally just murdered somebody for no reason, and in the dumbest way possible.
Yes, yes, and yes.
It's so.
And he killed, like, the best one.
They also kill Shazam immediately because they're like,
Because that's the one person I can actually
yeah,
take
because
out.
everybody's like,
Because
well,
Shazam's, like, the only one who's actually got, like, powers to
yeah,
match Superman.
well, because they're like, okay, the three
Superman's
people,
like, is he a Kryptonian? And that's why he hasn't joined the Justice League.
well, he has the
Trust your
three
decision.
people who can beat Superman, or at the very least equal him, depending on who's writing the story, is Wonder Woman, Shazam, and Flash.
And he has...
Because if anyone accepts the fact that the Flash literally can keep his body going and not hurt it when he's going nearly the speed of light, means that dude has got, like,
super power.
yeah,
Super
crazy
strength.
punch.
Definitely.
A big old punch in the noggin.
Like, super dense bones, structure, I don't know.
like-
There's some guy on YouTube who does the science behind it.
Yeah, it's like there's literally...
Which is mostly... Yeah, this doesn't work, but, you know...
of course it does.
this power.
It's a superpower for a reason.
But the thing is that you can have Superman try to kill Flash and he just goes back in time and finds a moment where he can kill Superman. Like, it's not hard. Because it's comic book
If
logic.
he fails to kill him, if he actually kills him, he can't go back in time, he's already dead.
Sure. But the thing is
Isn't that
that
the case?
Flash should be able to see anything coming a mile away. How?
He doesn't have super sight. That's Superman.
No, but he can move at the speed of light.
You know.
Faster than the speed of light. That's how he taps into the speed force.
Sure, exactly. And then he can go back in time. He's not supposed to do that anymore, but he can.
You keep effing everything.
Actually, that movie I actually did think was really good. Flashpoint Paradox, whatever it was.
Oh, Flashpoint's good.
It was a
The
good
animated one?
it was a good amalgamation of like the storylines and cutting some of the extra fat. However, at the same time, they did have to rewrite certain characters just to assume that they're terrible and brutal. They're like,
Like
yeah,
Aquaman?
Wonder Woman and
Wonder
Aquaman
Woman?
are the worst human beings, or the worst non-human beings you've ever seen in your life, and they just massacre people.
Yeah,
In fact, we're
it's
gonna have a
crazy.
scene where Wonder Woman is literally murdering children.
How does this... How is this changed by Barry's mom dying? We don't know.
They've got no
It
answer.
doesn't matter.
Which is fine because it's an Elseworld. It's an Elseworld story.
Yeah.
It's basically what if.
My brother and I were talking about this the
That's
other
fine.
day, and it was, Warner Bros. They make like pretty good animated movies.
Yeah.
But they can't make a live action movie to save their lives.
At the same time, if
And
you
it's the same stories.
yeah, but if
You
you
have 70 years of comics.
but if you're
How can
telling
you not
me
write a freaking story for a movie and then have decent dialogue?
if you're telling me that you saw Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 1984 going, life is good, but it could be better. Like in the weirdest
Pedro
freaking
Pascal
voice.
was the best part of that
He's
movie.
so much fun. You can't pretend.
1984 is not good.
Oh, it's terrible.
The Wonder Woman movie, not the book by George Orwell.
1984. I actually have it on my
didn't care.
bookshelf right down here. I can't get through it just because it gets so dark.
I actually don't care for it.
It's
I got through some of it, but just
it's
it's.
not the best.
So I can highly
But
respect.
It
Just
is.
I can respect the
very
writing and what he was
influential, I
going
suppose.
for, but that man did not know how to be subtle.
No, it's not supposed to be.
that's what I'm saying. Like
I
it's
read it
actually good.
senior
for,
year.
Also, did you just say Milady instead of My Lady?
My lady, she just got killed.
Looks like we need a change of plan.
You just gotta punch that.
Also,
thug.
why did the music just change to
That's why.
Except you ain't no ghost.
Sorry, but I'm not.
Am I tripping, man?
Oh
Boys told
boy.
me you were straight up dead.
Oh
boy.
boy.
They cut your
This
mic,
is like
stay off the
Pokemon
stage,
and
man.
Sun and Moon, where they were
Yeah.
Yeah, and
afflicted
just-
by a ton of rappers.
well, also they only talk in reference to what they're dressed as.
Yo, boy,
It's wiggity
Cut the
waggity.
mic.
wiggity wet. Look at
Oh,
my, I got
I-
a gold chain, which
They
means
call
I'm
me
super
Rob
cool.
Soldier, onto the yes. It ain't hyperbole, 'cause I can
It's
kill
not
on
bad.
the beat, representing the Phantom Society.
Oh.
Wow, that didn't even rhyme, and it was
Yeah,
a
that
terrible
wasn't
rap.
great.
I'm sure it sounded better in Japanese before they did the translation,
Oh, I'm sure I didn't.
but that was
started out-
bad. Oh, we're gonna
Flash,
soul
but
hack
it
her.
wasn't it?
It's escaping from her breast. Quick!
Lick it.
What the fuck?
Well, that's how she like caught the other one. She was like, bam.
Whoa, whoa.
She's like, hey, I'm no
Step
pervert.
off, homie. Phantom's gonna need all those
Just put a bullet in his
Step
head.
off.
Only way we can
Step
raise
off.
hell down on the whole
Step
world.
off.
We're going
Okay,
live.
can you imagine if the
Step
game
off.
just took a turn for the dark and she just slices him apart?
Well, can you imagine if instead of using these special futuristic guns, like, actually I just got a real gun here, boot to the head.
So, I got this gun from my grandpa. It shoots like real bullets.
It was World War II, killed a lot of guys. He was charged for war crimes because of what he did. This does take place in Japan, so that does count with history.
Swagger's not in front. He's tough.
For you.
That's swagger.
We're also like
Dude,
level 3 at this
Look
point,
at all
so
those diamonds on his fist. Is
That's-
this guy rich?
I'm a dope MC.
With steel?
All my boys making noise in the COMP.
What does that mean?
You know the drill. Don't be a hero.
Dude, shouldn't you be able to rap better if you've got like a giant gold plate with diamonds?
I'm gonna try
encrusted?
to do something that I didn't do during
Did you just,
Personas and
like,
actually use buffs and
strategize?
debuffs.
Win bedazzled blitz, and you like got all this.
You gonna try it out?
This is a nightmare.
Wide open.
No,
Uh,
it's
he
not.
was not.
Oh,
really hot.
dear heavens. Oh yeah, dude, I'm sweating
That actually did a lot of damage. I'm not happy with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I would focus one.
Let me see.
Murder one.
How's this gonna go?
I would probably murder the thing that has less
There
health.
it
I
is.
go for more of a mass murder.
Just what I'd expect. Let's roll.
Have you tried electricity on that
Try it out?
horse?
The horse
I
is
have
electric in Persona though. Leghorn?
Yeah, well, let's find out.
No, or is he wind? No, he's electricity.
Dude, I don't remember.
Well,
Leghorn's
definitely not
like
weak to physical,
early game.
but I know the human is weak to ice.
It's good news.
I just gotta find out what the horse is weak to so I can just ping them back and forth. I do hope I get it past the baton type deal, because that is always fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to heal though.
Oh
Ow.
dear
Shoot.
heavens!
I can survive one more round, one more attack,
Those
right?
golden
Switching to offense.
diamond encrusted fists are going to really hurt you.
Nice one, Air. Let's roll. Can you handle this?
I clicked on the horse.
You didn't let it
Out
move.
of my way.
Gosh dang it, I wanted to see if the horse was weak to that.
You're too quick, man.
Well, I'm gonna have to heal him next round, assuming the horse doesn't murder him.
Charge!
Well, I hate to tell you. I see a murder minion for
They're
sure.
not doing tons of damage. These guys are doing a lot
Oh my gosh! Thank you for skipping that dialogue.
Oh yeah!
Yeah!
I was gonna say we're gonna get.
Finally.
Oh, he proc. He's charging.
Watch yourself, Arrow.
Right.
Take it away. It's all you.
Icing.
Take it away.
Icing days.
Arrows. Hey, it's
Not bad.
He
Let's
got like
roll.
9 seasons. He's fine.
you just use Dia.
Appreciate the help.
Oh, that's mana, not MP. Or not health. You're right.
Shoot. Things are going pretty rough here.
Charge!
Yep.
Oh, thanks. She did have 2 misclicks.
Yes. And that's why they're going pretty rough.
Hey.
That was HP.
To
I was hoping.
Dang,
Oh yeah, no,
this
no, it did
He
you
was HP. That's
I
why he's
thought
not
you were
dead.
trying to kill him.
No, he was
Oh.
trying to
Oh,
heal
gosh.
what's his- You should probably heal yourself, though.
Watch
Yes.
yourself, Arrow.
Right.
It's all you. Take it away.
That's your.
I'll just keep it in the weak spot so I can do 2 damage. Damage both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, slight HP recovery.
Let's go about
This is not back on track. I won't lose.
Sometimes when it specifies for one ally, it doesn't let you do it for yourself.
Which would be
In
is
like
dumb.
Persona 5. Yeah. Which is like, let's go.
Question!
Oh yeah. Trying to like concentrate or whatever. It's like, you can't do that for yourself.
Oh, dude, my favorite is still the
Defensive.
one where you boost up. It's the one that allows you to boost as concentrate and charge at the same time. So your next physical and your next magic attack will do double damage. And then you've got like a myriad truth, which is 3 to 5 times hit. If you got a multi
Okay, yeah, it is weak to electricity.
Sweet.
That one misclick would have helped me a lot, probably. But.
Nice. Now you get a double.
Yeah, but they also got their defenses up.
Oh, they do? But you still did. That's a lot more than you were doing.
Yeah, he's doing 18 and 19 each time.
Yeah, that's 31 you could have.
Oh!
And so did he.
No, he didn't need to.
I won't
That
lose.
should be the trick.
He just raised his attack. Did he use Heat Riser already?
We've got time. Let's do. Ooh, that'll work.
That should silence a snowfall.
Silent as snowball as he freezes his head and a block of ice punches it and shatters
Actually, it
his
does
head.
make sense. So you just kill the guy and you don't have to kill the horse.
Your talk is cheaper.
I'm no weaver, but I can send you to hell.
Oh boy.
Should we just murder that man?
Yes.
The thing is, can you imagine if they actually made you like defeat them and then you walk over and you shoot a bullet in their head and then you walk away?
I'm here for it.
Yeah, this other person's dying. I should probably save my life. Here, go save Melly.
She slurps it up like fucking,
He had backup.
It's a big noodle.
Big!
Ringo, what is this thing?
It's a sperm. What is this thing? What is this thing?
It's a soul
Yeah.
sperm.
Don't make this. What is this thing? What's this? What's this? It's yellow in the air. It's a snake.
It's going into me?
I believe he's harassing.
Covenants. Joining with you.
Covenant.
Covenant. Then, this was the point of
Okay, I'm just
Dr.
pointing out.
Walker's
That blood
message.
hasn't spread out very far. Can we soul hack her too?
I think this is her soul that just left.
No, they said it was the covenant, not the soul.
What the fuck is the covenant?
Big? Are you alright? Big!
I'm not detecting any abnormalities at the moment.
So,
That's right. I'm Fig.
pleased to meet you, Fig.
There are only 2 like us. Ringo and I?
Just to confirm, Fig. Are we too late to save Melody?
Yes.
Yeesh. 2 soul hacks this quick.
Oh,
Ringo?
we did this soul hack.
You can't mean...
Are you going to bring Melody back?
Think about it this way.
Melody?
We know Arrow's death is somehow related to the end of the world.
Yeah, I
But what
know.
if we
Which I was
assume
like,
Weaver
that's
is
quite the
not
reference
Arrow's
I
to
can't
like
authorize that.
Haru's
Yeah.
persona.
It'll be fine. I think I've got it.
That's not the.
This is just to be safe. And not only that, but I agreed to help Arrow protect.
Understood.
Okay.
Right.
Sir, you're useless.
I mean, his ice attacks were pretty nice.
He was
Not gonna
recently dead.
True,
He's new to this.
but in the scope of the story so far, he's completely useless.
Yeah.
Spell sequence, soul hack.
I do like the animation for this though.
Yes.
Oh, it's the licking the tongue. The Yu-Gi-Oh card draw.
Or go.
Triangle.
This also
Strongest
looks
sword.
vaguely of stuff from the Assassin's Creed.
I see what you mean.
When you're
Just
going
when you're
into
in the Animus.
Yeah. I didn't even remember what that was called because it's the most forgettable part of the game. Everyone's
My
favorite part of
brother-
Assassin's Creed is when you're in the real world and you don't have superpowers.
My brother
It's like,
just
that's weird.
it
Who hates
was
that?
earlier this summer he played through Black Flag, so I watched it.
Oh, nice.
What is it, Assassin's Creed 3, where they're like, we mix up the formula and like for half of the game you are spent in the real world as like not like possessing an avatar, you know?
And not having all these cool parkour tricks.
Yeah, instead you're just a lame, annoying scientist basically, and I'm like, who on earth?
It's like the MJ sequences from Spider-Man.
Those
The
weren't
problem is that those
terrible,
were
because they were
story
so
based,
short.
and so they
it
were
was
somewhat
okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Except it was still annoying having to sneak around.
Yes.
And if you got caught, you had to start over at the beginning. It's like, come on!
Hate stealth missions.
Oh yeah.
I played part of Spider-Man doing mostly stealth kills because then I wouldn't die.
Hey, but
So I'm not too great at
having the
I got
even
option
though I
for
played
stealth,
so much.
having the option for stealth is fun, but where it loses its fun is if you get caught, the game's immediately over.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
guess.
And with
That sucks.
It was.
and that's the issue with the Mary Jane parts of
I
Spider-Man.
recommend playing
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's based in Victorian England, steampunk era
This is an unjust
sort of
world.
style,
False world.
and it is. Or sorry,
Let's destroy it
Victorian. Something
together.
like that. It's a ton of fun, and it allows you to do stealth stuff a ton of the time. You can do better, and you are more efficient when you do stealth stuff. However, you also can brawl, and so meaning that they're about twins. One of them is like a quintessential assassin, the girl Evie, and then Jacob is like he ends up becoming essentially a mob boss on the street. Becomes like a gang leader, and that's his goal.
Such beauty.
And so he's like,
He's like, I've always wanted to be like
Just like him.
Al Capone.
his weapon is like a kukri or a cane or like bloody knuckles. Those are
Sweet.
his options, and then she's got like a cool cane sword and gun and like assassin like little spears that she can throw. And it's so much more fun for me to do the assassinating stuff. However, when I wanted to be like, okay, I'm a little sick of the assassin stuff, let's just start beating people to shreds, and I'm like, this is fun too. Oh,
Man,
come
we have to
on.
listen to him again.
Even in death, this man harasses my
Also,
ears.
how weak are these main characters? Like, yeah, they sent them a super important undercover mission. I think it's pathetic.
And he beat off of it. Let's rephrase.
Yes, please.
He, like, this incredibly important person gets beat by some dude doing Asian blackface. You know?
No, doing
Urban face, I guess.
freeform or freeform poetry or whatever it is.
Freestyle rap.
No, it's snap poetry.
Thank you, RS.
You guys should watch So I Married an Axe
Axe
Murderer,
Murderer.
because I don't understand the main character.
What we need to watch
Is
June,
Job
because I
is
just
poetry.
finished the book.
Here.
So we need
You
to watch
finished the
it.
book?
Wait, hold up. Are we watching the 80s one with Kyle MacLachlan?
I
Or
hope
are we
so.
watching the one with
Both.
annoying Timothy Chalamet?
We have to
Well,
watch
first off,
6
Jason
hours of
Momoa's in the
Dune.
Jason Momoa's in the new one, so
Yeah,
you
he
gotta
looks
watch
cool.
that one.
Easier the second time around.
So
I'm
He
straight enough to
usually
admit
looks
that
cool.
dude's hot.
I'm not gay, but I would say you gotta watch both. You know, not at the same day.
Oh, apparently there's a Kyle MacLachlan dude
Relax,
a bomb.
lady. You don't have to
Apparently it's
worry about
terrible.
that.
But I'm
I mean,
down
it's-
to hate watch.
It was made like the
We can make a
80s,
review.
but their CGI.
I'm a super
Watch this movie with us as
intelligent
Warner
being,
Bros. breaks us up.
That's what we need to do is we need to do a podcast where it's just movie reviews.
I'm good having a movie podcast.
Yeah, dude. I'm down.
What is this super
Just get our fingers in more
intelligent
pies.
being? Well, Melody,
More pies
how
and more
about I
fingers.
show you?
Hopefully I'm not
I'm
allergic to
dead
pie
or
crust.
salted. I'm gonna save the world.
You gluten
It's more
intolerant?
than okay?
Of course not.
So
Who's
that's
intolerant?
it.
Intolerant.
Because it sounded to
Intolerant
me
to
like
gluten.
you had something stunning to
That's
do.
right.
I tolerate its existence.
I'm very liberal. I tolerate the
Because
good.
I also have Batman Ninja still sitting there in
Oh yeah, we
plastic.
need to watch it.
To make things right.
I still want to show you guys because neither of you guys have watched Batman Returns, have you?
No.
Don't even.
I so want to watch Batman Returns is the sequel to Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton.
Shouldn't we watch Batman 1989?
Oh, wait,
Yes.
first?
Batman
No, I was
89
thinking Batman and Robin.
Batman 89 is with
Returns.
Michael Keaton. It's got
What I want to watch is Batman Forever because we used to have Scooby Doo, one of the old VHS of Scooby, like Scooby Doo, Young Invaders or whatever. And they had one of the commercials or previews was for Batman Forever, and they did such a good job with that without actually giving anything away. But they made it seem terrifying.
So you've been
It's
wondering
terrible.
about Batman Forever
Wait,
since you were like
you
7.
made it seem
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah,
With
'cause
Jim
it's-
Carrey.
Well, because
Yeah,
they
Jim
didn't.
Carrey.
But they're like,
Tommy
he's
Jones.
back. And it's just the Joker's laugh. And just things like that.
That's not Batman Forever.
Yes, it's true.
I will bring up the preview as soon as we're done with this.
Oh,
Believe me, I've watched all of
She's
the Batman
alive.
movies that are live
Why?
action. It's unfortunate.
I'll show you the preview that I'm meaning.
she's angry.
I
Also,
unfortunately-
after this cutscene, it's probably a place to stop.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something.
Probably
No,
wrap up.
I watched Batman Forever. Oh well.
Oh, she says it's Raphael.
She doesn't trust us.
Oh, we can call her Raphael. That's Leonardo.
Yeah, because
No,
she is the
that's-
sword.
That's
Yeah.
Lemon Gumdrop.
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Well, that sounds like she's coffee dust.
Yeah.
I guess
Lemon.
gun guy is Spike.
Gun guy is
Isn't
dead
that the
weight.
dragon from My Little Pony?
No, Spike is the 5th Ninja Turtle.
I think we just found out that
He like
he's a brony.
ditches.
Oh gosh, no. Can we call him Scrappy Doo instead?
No.
I'd rather insult him
No,
that way
because
than call
he's
him Spike.
useless and not annoying.
I literally didn't even remember that there was a 5th Ninja Turtle called Spike.
We can just call him the worst ninja
Well, it's
turtle,
like
Michelangelo.
He comes around for like occasional arcs and
So
leaves.
Ion is a non-human
Most of the
being
time
that
he's
also
not.
explains how. But I don't understand.
Wait, Melody. We're not with Phantom. Right.
He's like
so,
Raph.
I'm actually
He got exposed to the
Yatagarasu?
whatever
You're
juice
still
later
a summoner for
after
Phantom.
they were all
They're after you.
juicy.
Could you even go
Spike
back
was
to
like
the Phantom
Raph's
Society?
pet turtle,
What's your
I'm
which is
saying we
weird
can
because
help
he's
you.
already a turtle.
And it's not like we're asking you to
But then he
split
got
It's
it.
okay.
exposed to the
Only
juice
concern
and turned into a
It's
giant
okay. Do you
turtle.
want to explain that for like the Little Mermaid when they have different sea
Then,
animals hitched
it
up
looks
and
like
like
Melody's
servants
Sure took a
to the
lot
other
of effort,
talking
though.
animals, and you're like, I don't want to know how this society runs.
Yeah.
That
I just
should
leave
help
it
us
alone.
get a better
Kind of
understanding.
like
There's still way too much we
a.
don't know.
Well,
For
it's a
now,
sea
Secret of
horse.
Nim?
Wouldn't the sea horse pull your sea chariot?
Thank you.
No, because they're not actually horses.
Okay.
They only
Well,
got named
because
that because
they're,
they've
like,
got that
this big?
canter. Yes.
If you hitch enough of them up, it's like huskies. But
Yeah,
like,
sure. It's like the Iditarod Trail. Why not?
It's like the Iditarod, but
All
you
right.
have to like have 500 of them instead of like 8 dogs.
So now that we got completely off the rails, thanks for watching,
Yeah.
and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Thank you.